left eyebrow 2, OK, apply, OK. Home on the keyboard, track motion, track forward, edit target, right, left eyebrow 3, OK, apply, OK. Right eyebrow 1, OK, apply X and Y, OK. Edit target, right eyebrow 2, OK, apply X and Y, OK. Now our final eyebrow track. Edit target, right eyebrow 3, OK, and apply. So, there we have all of our eyebrow dots tracked. As you can see, they're sticking quite nicely. So again, what we're going to do is just select them all, make them invisible, and then hide them, so it keeps the composition nice and clear. Now, I'll just track the nose to give you one final example of tracking. So we'll duplicate our null object 4 times, because there are 4 dots in our nose group, and name it. Let's name them, remember it's top first, which I haven't mentioned. If there is any up and down involved, it's always top first and then bottom. So we'll call it middle nose middle, and then for this one, lower nose middle, and then left nose, right nose. Click our source footage, track motion, and go on with the tracking. I've just noticed that I have named it middle nose middle. How idiotic. Upper nose middle is what I meant. Upper nose middle. Apply. OK. Now I shall fast forward so that you don't have to get bored at more tracking. Okay, so again what I'm going to do is just hide those layers and make them hidden. Okay, so what I'll do now is just track the rest of the dots and fast forward it so that you won't have to watch me doing the most tedious job in this tutorial. So I'll continue whilst you listen to this nice music. Now, as you may have noticed, I had a bit of trouble tracking the dots on my lower lip and on my chin. This is because of the speed at which the dots move. It's the quickest part of the face, really, and the fact that my lip partially blocked, well, sometimes even completely blocked the lower lip dots. So when you do your video, I recommend that you have your dots a little bit lower. So what we're going to do now is apply our motion that we have captured to our image. So what we're going to do is we're going to unhide all our layers and choose our forehead null objects, make them visible, unhide them, and then hide the rest again. Right, so what we're going to do is now select them and press P on the keyboard to bring up the position properties, and then we're going to choose male average composition and choose the puppet pin tool. Now what we're going to do is place a puppet pin in the same order that these are tracked and named at the top left hand corner of every null object. So I have set my triangles also to 1000. You don't have to add this many if you don't want, but it just adds a bit of extra detail. So I'll just be click on every corner to add a null object. And now what we're going to do is select the male average composition and press E to bring up the effects that have been applied to that layer. Bring down puppet, mesh, deform, and select puppet pin 1, which will be forehead middle. Now what we're going to do is bring down the properties of puppet pin 1 and alt click the stopwatch, and then we're going to drag this squiggly little line and link it to the forehead middle position properties. So now this puppet pin is controlled by the position of forehead middle. As you can see, it moves the picture, and then we're going to do that for all of our null objects. Alt click, drag the pick whip to left forehead 1 position, and then do the same for left forehead 2. Alt click, drag pick whip, right forehead 1, do the same for right forehead 2. So as you can see, our man is now sort of moving in a slightly weird way. So we'll just continue to do this for all of our groups. Let's hide these again, and then choose our next group, which is eyebrows. Make them visible, unhide them, and then hide the rest. So what we're going to do is press P on the keyboard again to bring up the position properties of all our null objects, and select male average composition, and then click the puppet pin tool again, and place a puppet pin on our composition on every top left hand corner of the null objects. One thing you need to remember is to do it in this right order, as it makes things quite a lot easier. Now what we're going to do is press E on the keyboard to bring up the effects properties, and then go to puppet, mesh 1, deform, and then find our middle puppet pin, which in this case it's puppet pin 6. Alt click the stopwatch, drag the pick whip to the corresponding null object. So we'll drag it to the position properties of eyebrow middle. Do the same for puppet 7, left eyebrow 1, puppet pin 8, left eyebrow 2, puppet pin 9, left eyebrow 3, and now on the right side, right eyebrow 1, right eyebrow 2. And right eyebrow 3. So let's make it a bit tidier. So now we should be able to see that we're getting a bit of motion in our composition. Yep. Of course his eyes are a bit weird because we've not added the lower portion of the face. So let's continue to do that. Let's choose our upper nose. Well, let's choose our nose group. Make them visible. Unhide them, hide the rest. Press P to bring up the position properties. And then select our manipulation composition. And again, in the same order, add a puppet pin for every top left hand corner. Press E, puppet, mesh 1, deform. Right. In this case it's puppet pin 13. Alt click the stopwatch, get the pick whip and drag it to the position properties of upper nose middle. Do the same for lower nose middle. Left nose and right nose. So as you can see, things are actually starting to look quite good. So what we're going to do is continue to do this for all of our null objects. So again, I'm going to just